Hello everyone, my name is Tanya. I'm a professional tour guide and welcome to my channel. I've been working as a tour guide for over 7 years and I do all types of tours. I show the highlights of the cities, the most beautiful places and hidden gems. On my tours, I talk about history, anthropology, culture, architecture, design, literature and more. If you want to explore the world together, please press the button subscribe so you won't miss any upcoming videos, and please press like to support my channel and to help me to grow it so I will be able to create more videos for you. So today I'm going to talk about the Kremlin, the one and only one of the main landmarks in Moscow. I've done a number of Kremlin tours on Heygo, and I know that many of you know me thanks to Heygo platform, where I did many virtual tours, but I've never showed you inside. It's a museum, so in order for me to show you inside I need to get a ticket. And if you want to see longer videos, if you want to support my channel, you could go to my Buy Me Coffee page to make a contribution, and I will be able to show you more places around the world. And also you can see my upcoming tours, longer tours. This one will be short, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to publish more about the Kremlin. So my upcoming tours this week, it will be a book festival in Red Square. It's an annual festival, and I know that many of you are bookworms as much as I am. So on our next session we will talk about Turgenev's novel Russian classics, Fathers and Sons. It's very great book in order to understand the complexity of dialogue and in Russia. So we'll be more than happy to see you, and if you want to see some other upcoming videos, including a very anticipated tour about everyday life in Moscow in the 60s, please go there. And write a comment if there is something that you want to see in particular, and if you enjoy this video, I hope you will. So have a nice time and see you soon. Welcome to the Kremlin. We are already inside. When you get a ticket, you have to go through security. Of course, I'm not able to record this process, but I'm going to tell you how to get inside, because believe it or not, but it's actually a challenge for a number of tourists. The Kremlin means fortification, and indeed the Kremlin is one of the medieval fortifications. We actually have Kremlins in other cities. Most of them are museums, including this one. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to go inside, you need to get a ticket. You can do it online. It costs approximately $10 depending on the exchange rate, but even if you buy it online, you still need to go to the ticket office and to exchange it to an actual one. So in my opinion, it's just better to go directly to the ticket office, especially now when we don't have any lines. So a lot of people think that the entrance must be through Red Square because part of the Kremlin is in Red Square. So it could make sense, it's the main highlight. But the entrance is in Alexandrov Garden, or Alexandrovsky Sad. So you go there, you find the ticket office. It's pretty easy. It's right after Troitskaya Tower. And now we will go through this Troitskaya Tower, or the Trinity Tower. It is the tallest tower of the Kremlin. In total, we have 20 towers. 19 of them were built in the end of the 15th century, and including this one. The Kremlin was actually built by Italian architects. The tower that we're going through in particular was built by Alevis Frazin. Actually, Frazin, that's how many Italians were named. In English, you can find his name is Aloisio de Milano. Again, it's just more about his origin. Nevertheless, the Kremlin actually represents Italian style, Italian design, and Italian architecture. But inside it, we have big city meeting us. And in fact, it was a city. Originally, the Kremlin was the size of Moscow. And then now, I mean, it's quite difficult to imagine that Moscow was that small. So we will talk about some of the buildings that we will see in front of us. Again, it will be only an introduction for you just to take a look, because normally not every tourist gets a chance, especially, you know, when there's a high tourist season. So let's talk about some of the things that will be in front of us. So on the left, we have Arsenal. So it's pretty huge, and we won't be able to go inside to the left because actually the Kremlin is also the residence of the president. It is the main residence. Therefore, you will be able to see that everything is pretty strict in this area. You're not able to easily go wherever you want. There are many guards. As for this building, it was constructed in 1736. The construction was started in the beginning of the 18th century in 1702, and it has been rebuilt several times. Originally, it was the armory, but it still remains in military use up to date. It belongs to the presidential regiment. So as I said, it's off limits to tourists, unless you have some good friends inside, I guess. The next building is pretty unusual for the Kremlin. It kind of like stands apart, this medieval architecture. Again, you already know that the Kremlin was built in the end of the 15th century, but this is the 20th century. It certainly shows us the Kremlin has many, many layers inside of it. This place is called State Kremlin Palace. We also have the Grand Kremlin Palace. And it's also known as Kremlin Palace of Congresses. So that's where the Soviet Congresses took place in. It was built in the beginning of the 60s or the 20th century in 1961 under Khrushchev era. So today it's used as one of the scenes of the Bolshoi Theater. If you want to learn more about Bolshoi Theater, just go to one of my videos. That is actually a unique moment because often it's closed. And now let's take a brief look at the Cathedral Square, one of the most beautiful squares in the city. It's pretty obvious why it's called the Cathedral Square, because here we have several cathedrals. Not just any cathedrals, but the major ones and the oldest ones in the city. I'm showing you some videos inside the Assumption Cathedral. It's also known as Dormition Cathedral or Spensky Cathedral. It was built by Italian architect Aristotele Fioravanti as the principal church of the Russian state. And for centuries, it was the religious center of Russia, where grand princes were set for reigning. That's where they were crowned. Even when the capital was moved to St. Petersburg by Peter the Great, that was still the place where coronations took place. And even the last Russian Tsar, Nicholas II, was crowned inside it. So here you can see the places, or the seats for Russian Tsars. There are many interesting details to explore. You can see that I didn't have my gimbal during that day. Again, I'm not able to go to the Kremlin just on any day, on any weekend, but I hope you are able to enjoy the interiors today. Again, it's a museum. It's no longer to considered as a religious place. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and if yes, please press like, subscribe and share it with your friends. I hope we will explore the other side of the Kremlin next.